When I first arrived in Kash, I saw people doing yoga in an ancient theater built in the 1st century BC. Then I had this coffee, and it looked and tasted as if someone had caffeinated nirvana. Bright colors caught me into following them down the random alley, and that's how I found this secret beach. But as relaxing as it all sounds, my mind was hard at work here, because this town looks like Greece and tastes like Italy, and yet you are in Türkiye. Welcome to Kash. Gemini says that Kash is a highly walkable and intimate town of around 10,000 people. And an article on Medium from someone who moved here described it as a place of quiet euphoria, a state when you don't want to go anywhere else, plan anything else, or change a thing. Both of these are perfect introductions. Kash is located sort of halfway between Fethi and Antalya. It's built right into a hillside and overlooks a really colorful part of the Mediterranean. But Western Turkey has a huge collection of colorful Mediterranean towns, and Kash still feels different. It has an effortless hipness about it, but also depth. There is so much history layered in its streets that you can actually feel it, even without knowing it. This is why I think that Kash is a place that doesn't really need a specific itinerary, but knowing a few very peculiar things about it can definitely help you make the most out of the experience. First, getting to Kash is an adventure in itself. Whether you drive or take one of these minibuses called Dolmuş, you will be taking one of the most picturesque and, if you have anxiety like me, scary roads in Turkey. Second, Kash is known as one of the best beach towns in Turkey. But at first you don't really see that. This is because Kash doesn't have that one beach that defines it. Instead, it has a lot of small and I would even say secret beaches hidden in the most unexpected places. Like this tilted platform, which is also a beach, sitting right amid restaurants. Or this little beach in a random alley next to someone's house and mini farm. This is why when walking in Kash, you really need to keep your eyes open for somewhat random beach teleports, like these. And if you think about it, this arrangement is sort of genius. You get to walk around the city and cool down anytime without having to redirect yourself to one particular beach. But if you are looking for a dedicated beach day after all, then just a short drive away there is the most famous beach in Turkey, Kaputaş Beach, which gets crazy busy in summer with a line of people to even get close to it. Then there is the beautiful bay of Limanazu, which is a 20-minute boat ride away. The boats leave from the main square. Beaches in and near Kash have that ultimate watercolor that draws people in instantly. A casual swim here feels like something extravagant almost. And as a lot of beaches are also quite small, the experience feels almost exclusive. Kash doesn't really taste like Turkey. Sure, you can find great local food here, but even then the setting will probably take you someplace else in associations. There is a very cool Italian restaurant here. Like a lot of things in Kash, it's an easy walking distance from wherever you are in town. And I think it really matches the town's character. Everything here looks and tastes really thought through, but you feel relaxed. I don't know about you, but I often feel uncomfortable in places that my brain registers as too fancy. Restaurants in Kash deliver fancy where it matters, in the food and the mood. The town that Kash is today grew from a small fishing village, and it makes sense that its central streets take you by the marina. But like in most Turkish towns, Kash's soul lives in the old town. This is the part of Kash where everything that makes it feel special and different kind of accumulates, and it's beautifully revealed in the smallest of details. A large shade-making tree in the middle of the street, small color-filled boutiques, and the cat fights you will actually enjoy watching. Everywhere you look, you're reminded that you're in a place of great natural beauty, and even the most usual of things, like this kid's playground, start to look different. Kash is small, but it's remarkably walkable. So if you're here without a car, you're actually in luck, because parking in Kash can be a... There is a nice walking route that takes you past parked yachts and RVs, a nice pick-a-lifestyle moment. But it's interesting how inspirational a short walk can be, because seeing this has really made me want to rent an RV and explore the country. At the start of this video, I said that Kash doesn't need an itinerary, and I stand by it. It's one of those places where you can't really make a wrong turn. But if I had to put something on the must-visit list, it would be this place. It's an ancient port theater, but what makes it different is that most Greek and Roman theaters face the hillside or the city, but this one looks directly into the Mediterranean. Can't think of a more dramatic way to see the sunset. And while in a lot of places ancient ruins are locked away, in Kash the theater is perfectly functional. 2,000 years ago it seated over 4,000 spectators, and most recently it hosted an open-air World Cup event with over 4,000 people. So far, Kash probably sounds and looks like something calm, relaxing, and in a good way, boring. It may feel that it's lacking a sense of adventure, but that's just because I didn't get to it yet, and because it's sort of illegal. There are a few unofficial attractions in Kash that excite urban explorers and content makers. One of them is this open-air seaside basketball court. It has become a niche sensation on Instagram and Reddit. It's an abandoned basketball court that edges right into the Mediterranean. There are no safety nets, so a wrong pass here will send your basketball right into the sea. But if you zoom out, you will see the bigger picture. The basketball court is part of an abandoned resort called Aqua Park Hotel. People come here for the interesting contrast of post-apocalyptic atmosphere and very optimistic Mediterranean views. As far as I know, getting into the resort requires jumping a few fences, which sounds illegal. And as the place is abandoned, the structures in it can be rusty and unstable. So if you do choose to visit it, please make sure you're aware of all the risks involved. I am saying this from personal experience. There was a view I wanted to camera catch at one of the abandoned structures, and inspired by skywalkers and personally curated stupidity, I decided to climb down for it. Now, this is the view I caught, and you tell me if it was worth it. But this is the underlying theme that repeats itself in Kash. Modern Kash is built right atop an ancient port of Antiphellos. The old and the new are in a very organic mix here. This is why the abandoned old projects don't really look out of place here, though they do provide a break from all things idyllic. On my way back to the Dalmouche stop, I've learned one more interesting thing about Kash. It's a big yachting hub, and I found that out completely by accident. I was looking for a supermarket on Google Maps and was directed to my first ever Migros Marina. Migros is a Swiss supermarket chain, but it's very popular in Türkiye. And how big a Migros is in the number of M's in its title. One of the interesting Migroses I've seen before is this one. It's a boat Migros. But Migros Marina seems to be serving primarily yachtsmen stocking up for the voyage. Now, I knew very little about yachts, but on that day I learned that alcohol, chips, and frozen pizza are some of the top commodities for yachtsmen. So maybe we're all not so different after all. A friend who insisted I absolutely visit Kash told me I ended up being impressed with things she didn't even notice. And this is the thing about this town. It will take you where you are supposed to be. So following someone else's itinerary may have you missing out on what you would have seen. Trust in your own instincts. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Natalie, and among other things, I make simple and occasionally fun destination guides like these. If you have a moment, check out my channel for more ideas for an adventure. Have a great day.